Welcome to the show, Andrea.
Hi, good to see you as always.
A pleasure. Now, let's talk first of all about this awful case today involving Nigel Farage, because it gives rise to many reasons to discuss the various elements of this. Well, first of all, it's this guy, Fayaz Khan, who notoriously was filmed coming across on a boat, a small boat, across the channel, and he had a Kalashnikov machine gun tattooed onto his cheeks. There he is, you can see, and he threatened to kill Nigel Farage. Well, today, because of that death threat at Southwark Crown Court, he got 5 years. He made his death threat on TikTok, of course. 5 years at Southern Crown Court, after which he launched a furious tirade, storming that Farage was just using him to become Prime Minister. And then he said, "You want to F my life? You want to put me in prison?" As I said, well, yes, correct on both counts. Well, look, let's listen to Nigel straight after the case. This is what he had to say.
This violent criminal, somebody with 17 convictions in Sweden, in 18 months' time, he will be in this country, living in a house of multiple occupancy or a hotel. He'll be free to walk the streets whilst his asylum claim is being judged. And the only reason we know about this guy is because somebody sent it to me on TikTok. And it makes me wonder, how many other madder passers are there now in this country, or will there be as the boats continue to cross the channel?
Well, he's got a good point, hasn't he, Andrea? And what occurs to me about this, first of all, we should, in a little while, talk about Nigel Farage's security, which outrageously was reduced by 75% just about 4 weeks ago. Meanwhile, while the government was busy racking up former disgraced Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner's security to the extent she was allowed to keep her ministerial BMW. I don't know what the hell that's all about. Nigel, meanwhile, had his reduced. I'm not saying, by the way, that Andrea, or rather Angela Rayner, isn't a potential security risk. She does deserve protection. But so does Nigel Farage, and I can't understand. Probably more than anyone else, Nigel Farage deserves state protection, and I can't understand why they've reduced that. But let's talk about that in just a second. Let's talk about the increasing danger that it seems to me our escalating migrant crisis is presenting to the people of this country. So we've got this guy. Meanwhile today, a court case started. We've got to be careful here because the suspect denies it. He's standing in court pleading not guilty. His name is Deng Choi Majek. He's a Sudanese asylum seeker. At Wolverhampton Crown Court, he denied this case started. He denied stabbing 27-year-old asylum seeker hotel worker Rhiannon White to death with a screwdriver 23 times. He also denies witness reports that after his alleged frenzied attack, he was seen laughing and dancing with excitement. The case continues. Bearing in mind, we must respect the fact that he's denying these charges, but you just hear about this guy with the Kalashnikov on his face, threatening Nigel. Then you read about this case, and you know so many other cases where asylum seekers have either been charged with or convicted of very serious violent or sexual crimes, and you think they're still pouring in. You know, day after day, they're pouring across the channel with the government doing nothing about it. Also, millions of legal migrants being allowed in. And, you know, it seems to me we're reaching crisis point. This lack of any policy to deal with this migrant invasion by this government, I think is putting the people of this country at great risk, don't you?
Not completely. But it's been going on for years. And oh, Clifford, stop knocking on the door. Now stop it now.
It's Clifford again. He's always the star of the show.
I've even bribed him with a voucher to go and use on his computer. Right,
I should tell everybody that Clifford is Andrea's son.
No, I mean, no, I remember in Parliament mentioning, do you remember that horrific case a few years ago, only about 3 or 4 years ago, when that granddad, what was it, Newcastle or Sunderland or something, got murdered by a migrant, and he passed through 10 safe countries
Yeah.
to get to Britain. And this is the thing is, we have got this flag in Britain which says, come here with soft touch, you get everything you want, and there's a two-tier justice system. And you're right, it is getting worse. I mean, that poor girl, it's horrific. She'd been working in a hotel, wasn't she? Then to get stabbed with a screwdriver. And the Nigel situation, I mean, hallelujah that someone's been convicted for a centre-right politician, because I mean, the amount of time, look at the milkshake situation, got let off, that girl got let off. Every person who's threatened me and even Clifford has got let off.
Yeah.
And so I hope this two-tier justice system's finally changing, and he deserves to go down. But most importantly, he deserves to go back to his own country.
Absolutely. Mind you, I mean, Nigel said, he wants to go back to Afghanistan. Send him back to Afghanistan. Exactly. I'd like him to do a little jail time first. I'd like him to have a bad time in our jails as well. Otherwise, we're kind of letting him off. We're letting him go free. He was furious. He didn't feel he warranted being sent to jail at all. I mean, I was just talking about, we just recently did this earlier in the show. We did this feature about the Reform UK councillor Claire Mackey-Brown up in Scotland, who's in trouble for saying that she was born and bred in Falkirk. That apparently is a hate crime. It's racist to say that.
What's saying born and bred?
Yeah, seriously. The police have now dramatically decided that there was no criminality involved.
But God, what a joke that is.
But the point, her alleged hate crime unfolded when she was interviewed by STV, Scottish Television. And she was talking about how the local community are frightened, are scared, because they've got a lot of asylum seeker hotels there. Yeah. And I was citing the case. Yeah. There was a guy, only about 3 months ago, was sentenced to 12 years. He was an Afghani asylum seeker, came across the channel illegally in a small boat. They almost immediately sent him to a 4-star hotel in Falkirk in Scotland. He walked straight out, grabbed a 15-year-old local vulnerable girl, took her behind the pub and viciously raped her. He got 12 years. But this is just, so that's what Claire Mackey-Brown is talking about. People are frightened, people are scared, and this is going on all over the country, and we have a government that is doing the square root of nothing about it at all.
No, I agree with you. It is just, well, number one, why would that be a hate crime?
Yeah, well, yeah.
I mean, look. When I said that a woman, even at my election, that the woman had come, one of the candidates had come from she was born in another country, then I was seen to be racist. I mean, you can't say anything nowadays, can you? Yeah. But it's just got ridiculous. But it is about time we put the British people first. I mean, I'm trying to even shake things up with education and get rid of the ESOL, English as a foreign language, for which the county spends £1 million a year, Kevin, and make the British people be upskilled on literacy and numeracy. So, it's in every aspect of society. We've got to start putting the British people first.
Indeed. Let's talk a little bit about your local area. As I say, everyone, get on the phone. Andrea will take your calls after the next break. 0344 499 1000. What should we call it? Call Andrea. I could do better than that, couldn't I? But not exactly the most imaginative.
You could do AJ Talks.
Yeah,
Talks
there you go. Yes, let's do that. Yeah, Jenkins. Yeah, call Jenkins. AJ Talks. Well, we know that already. So listen, let's talk about Ed Miliband. By the way, he's off to Brazil with about 450 British delegates next month, in a couple of weeks, where he will spend £4 million worth of taxpayers' money.
Oh yeah,
achieving the square.
And you're taking a big delegation, didn't we speak on your show about this?
About 450, we think. 450, 470, all flying there, business and first class, in great big jets, just completely ruining the environment, talking about saving the environment. It's pathetic.
And I got hammered by the left for wanting to employ 3 staff. in my team when I had none. And I've been hammered by the media for that.
Andrea, go into the net zero business. They'll let you employ 1 million people. But he is, you know, it looks like he's hell-bent on destroying Lincolnshire as well with his energy development. So I've seen the story
I'd love to bring him to Lincolnshire. You know, I mean, he is, he's seen as an evil figure, actually, in Lincolnshire, is trying to desecrate our countryside with 40,000 acres of solar farm on agricultural land. And what about food security? We feed Britain, and he's just signed one off today as well.
Well, there's a local reform councillor up there called Sean Matthews, a former copper. He says that rather than let Ed Miliband's bulldozers wreck the Lincolnshire countryside, he wants to build these huge solar farms, doesn't he? And not to mention windmills. Sean says he'll lie down in front of the bulldozers. This could be coming to some kind of a head, couldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think we need to do lots of things to try and frustrate things, it's planning permission. I think we need to look at what infrastructure projects is needed, make sure we thwart that and try and delay it until the next election. I think that's what we need to do at the county, actually.
Yeah. Let's go back to the kind of violence that's going on, well, Nigel Farage being targeted, but also, of course, last Friday, George Finch, the 19-year-old Warwickshire council leader, Reform UK guy. By the way, I don't know George, but people who've met him say everyone always goes, he's 19, 19, 19. That's all they ever say about him. I can understand that. But people who've met him, I don't know if you have, but Isabel Oakshott was telling me, he's very impressive. He is very much an old head on young shoulders. Yeah, anyway, the poor guy got...
focus, bless him.
Yeah, the poor guy got viciously beaten up on Friday by thugs shouting fascist and racist. Nigel Farage saying, well, who started the fascist and racist rhetoric? Oh, I know. It was Keir Starmer at the Labour Party conference.
Exactly.
Particularly our government ought to be a bit careful about this. That bloke, Zach Polanski, the Green leader...
He changed his name, didn't he?
Yeah, David Polden is his real name. But this is a guy, right, by the way, he's the Green leader. He seems to speak about everything, except ecological issues. You know...
Well, I wish he was right on one thing, though, that if you have hypnosis, it increases your breast size, he reckons, doesn't it?
Well, yeah. Well, the way, though, if you listen to him...
We'll all be queuing up for hypnosis as women.
Yeah, no, I think if you listen to him on trans issues, no doubt he could increase the size of women's penises with his hypnotism. He called reform fascists and racists as well.
Oh God, they all do, don't they?
But it leads to people trying to kill Nigel Farage or beating up poor George Finch. You know, I'm all for free speech, but people in government, in particular, politicians, should be a bit more responsible about what they say, don't you think?
But look, even the former deputy leader of the Labour Party and former deputy prime minister, Angela Rayner, look at the stuff she's said over the years. This is Labour, isn't it? Do you remember when somebody called, was it John McDonnell, called for Esther McVey to be lynched? You know, the left get away with it. And, you know, look what happened in America. It was
Charlie Kirk, yeah.
Yeah, it was abhorrent. It was his birthday as well, wasn't it, today? And it should have been his birthday. And, you know, I think it's an accident waiting to happen in Britain. And you know, the poor Reform 19-year-old, they have got to change the rhetoric. And like you said, for the leaders of the Labour Party to be coming up with rhetoric like that, it is dangerous. And they're obsessed with reform, but they shouldn't put people into danger. That's irresponsible.
Absolutely. Changing tack slightly just before we do go to break. What did you see the Prime Minister in Sharm el-Sheikh yesterday? It was excruciating, wasn't it? It was the most embarrassing thing I've ever seen. Him shuffling around, trying to sort of.
I thought Trump was cool, though, didn't you?
Yeah, Trump. It was Trump's day, as I said. He was like the sort of ringmaster in the circus of his own triumph, absolutely loving it. But he went out of his way to embarrass the Palestine recognisers, as in Keir Starmer, Mark Carney of Canada, and of course Macron of France. But he really humiliated Starmer, and Starmer just looked like a fool, didn't he? As I said earlier in the show, he looked like Mr. Bean or something. It's a joke, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Are you playing the clip now?
Well, we could. We will. What did you think of it?
Okay.
What did you think of it?
I mean, look, I got it sent about 7 times to me. Said, have you seen this? Yeah, from constituents, and it was embarrassing, but it wasn't the first time, was it? Look how when Trump dropped his papers, he was there on his hands and knees picking them up. He's just got no gravitas, has he?
No, he hasn't. What did you make of the barefaced lies that this Parliament, this government, has been trying to tell about its alleged role in negotiating the peace in Gaza? Bridget Phillipson went on to telly on Sunday, "Oh no, we had a key role behind the scenes." No, they didn't.
Ridiculous.
No, they didn't. Well, Mike
They played into the hands of Hamas by recognising Palestine while with Hamas, a terrorist organisation, at the helm. I mean, they didn't even try to use it as a bargain tool to bring the hostages home, did they? They should have done that.
Well, that's exactly what the Deputy Foreign Minister of Israel said, Sharon Heskel. She said, not only did Britain not play any role whatsoever in the negotiating of this peace, you actually delayed a potential peace by recognising Palestine. So you actually materially got in the way of peace by recognising Palestine. And the reason that Britain wasn't involved is its policies ever since Labour came to power have been blatantly pro-Palestine. It's an old Labour fixation, Palestine, and blatantly anti-Israel. Simple as that.
Yes. Completely. And I wonder what Greta's going to do now. What about the flotilla? What she's going to do now?
She'll have to find somewhere else to sail to, won't she?